Hey there, this is the Goblin King. We're continuing with our October-themed anime reviews. This time I've sat down and watched Rosario Vampire. For the second time, actually. I watched it once a few years back, and when I was considering anime for this month, I thought the whole monster theme would suit nicely, which it rather does. Plus, I thought it was fun and, well, cute. So I kind of wanted to watch it again anyway. So there it is. This one revolves around a boy named Ano Tsukune. Tsukune is just starting high school but didn't do well on his entrance exams and was looking at the prospect of being held back a year because of it. However, as luck would have it, he manages to get into a mysterious school called Yokai High. This high school is very appropriately named as it's a place for teenagers of a more monstrous disposition to attend, locked away behind a barrier which keeps it shielded from the human world. On his very first day, he manages to meet a beautiful girl named Mocha, who happens to be a vampire. Yeah, the high school contains monsters of all different cultures under the blanket term of yokai. Anyway, the anime revolves around Tsukune and Mocha, and their day-to-day misadventures at Yokai High and all the friends they meet along the way, all the while attempting to hide Tsukune's human nature from the rest of the monster high school. Being a comedy, this anime is actually right up my alley since I prefer comedic anime to pretty much any other genre. Like, many straight-up shonen anime have some decent comedic moments in them. However, they too often get bogged down in a bunch of fight scene filler to pad out their seasons. Dragon Ball Z being one of the biggest sinners of this category, though very few of the others are free from this sin. Then there are other anime which either legit disturb me or depress the crap out of me, or both. And that's where a lot of the horror genre of anime falls for me. Shows like Hellgirl or Elfen Lied, for instance. Those shows were good. I really liked them. But goddamn were they fucking depressing. Then there's the straight up horror genre and ugh. We'll just say the Japanese know how to do horror very well. There was one movie I tried to watch a couple of years back that I got about 20 minutes into and noped the fuck out. It had little chibi young kids in it, and people making really stupid decisions like, I'm gonna let my little 6-year-old sister go pee by herself in this clearly haunted, terrifying murder school. Yeah, no, fuck that. Can't handle seeing little kids get hurt like that. So, long story short, I tend to gravitate toward more slice-of-life comedies, like Ranma and Half. It's my all-time favorite. I also like a lot of the isekai genre, unless it's being used as some sort of power trip fantasy. Then it bores the fuck out of me. I'm looking at you, Overlord. Basically stuff that doesn't make me want to Minecraft myself is what I like. The thing about this particular anime that I enjoyed was, of course, the comedy. That's hands down what I loved the most. I mean, I just spent a good chunk of time explaining my love for comedic anime after all, so it'd be kind of weird to say, that comedy stuff is shit, isn't it? For real though, the show had a bunch of moments that really made me laugh. It was a very light-hearted show for the most part, despite the surreal, supernatural qualities of the show itself. Now, to be right up front, this show is definitely in amongst the harem subgenre of anime. The main character is a clear doofus that has a bunch of beautiful females all over his nuts. The trap that this genre tends to fall into is the fan service trap, of course, especially the more comedic ones. I know this has been a focal point in the cultural war over anime amongst the puritanical window lickers on Twitter and re-cetera. I'm not here to say whether fan service is good or bad. Going in either direction, because there are anime out there, more often in recent years, that go toward the female fan service as well. I will state for the record, I don't care. It's the studio's right to put it in, and it's your right not to fucking watch it. Now, Rosario Vampire did have a bit of fan service in it. It was actually very, very tame, with 98% of it being panty shots. That was it. I saw on the wiki that I guess a bunch of fans of the original manga were really upset about these incredibly tame panty shots. And that's fine, I suppose. I can't rag on them too hard since I'm a purist when it comes to television or movie adaptations of books or comics, or something that I love too. Personally, I didn't care. It didn't take it away from anything in the anime itself, so far as I could tell. Outside of the panty shots, nothing was really gratuitous, Like, very few to none of those contrived pratfalls, where characters end up with their faces buried between the thighs of a female with panties inexplicably tangled around their heads somehow. None of that. The entire anime was actually very innocent, and again, lighthearted fun. Unlike Tulovru, which went from being fairly lighthearted to borderline hentai at some point between the second and third, or third and fourth seasons. I really enjoyed the characters for this show. Really, like, all of them were very well done. Even Sukune was a bit more than just the weenie main protagonist of a harem anime. He clearly was very much in love with Mocha, and she was clearly in love with him. The other girls that were around, their love was very one-sided, though you could tell that Sukune did care about them as well. It's not like he was a dick to them, either intentionally or unintentionally. He just loved Mocha. Even Mocha's split personalities each had depth, and their own characteristics and reasons for doing the things they did, and caring about Sukune. In fact, the more heavy-hearted episodes are the final episodes of the second season, when Sukune is kind of making a choice about something, and yeah, it's very poignant. So the show isn't just a shallow comedy, it does have some depth to it as well. All around, the writing was solid, the characters were good. Some of the funnier bits were when the anime went and sort of poked fun at the shoujo manga, and some of the more ridiculous tropes of those, like having Tsukune and Mocha gaze into each other's eyes and say each other's names over and over again. The background would usually go all pink and have this little romantic sounding music over it. It was funny because I got the feeling it was poking fun. Plus, the other characters would always interrupt them in some funny way. Really, my only bitches were that some of the villains were a bit overly goofy, basically caricatures rather than fully realized characters. The only one that really stuck around was the villain for the first episode, and he got some fleshing out in a couple of later episodes. But even the last villain for the first season was more of a caricature. Even though he was like kind of a big bad, the anime was really more focused on the relationships between the characters, sure, but it definitely did some of the villains a bit of a disservice as well. My other gripe is, well, the lolly bit. A lot of the harem anime tend to have at least one girl within the larger harem that at least displays a lot of lolly traits. In many of those, it's more of an idea that the girls look younger than they actually are, and that's fine, I guess. I mean, that exists in real life. In this one, the lolly character was legit like 3 to 4 years younger than the rest of the characters. So that definitely got to me, and not in a good way. I mean, she really was a good character. They even had an entire episode devoted to her that fleshed her out quite a bit. And yes, young girls get crushes on older boys. It happens. Just, nah. That's really the larger gripe. Just nah on that. However, I will say this. I'm free to not like that aspect of the anime. I'm free to even bitch a bit about it. I'm also free to not watch the fucking anime if it bothers me so much that I'm trying to tell an entire other culture what they should or shouldn't be doing with their drawings. Well, anyway, I think that's about all I can say about Rosario Vampire. I would recommend it as a watch if you're into a lighter-hearted style of anime and comedy. Even a bit of romance, sure. If you've seen the anime, what did you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, give those other buttons a look. There's a shiny red one, and one like a thumbs up, and another like an arrow that lets you share my terrible opinions. I'll see you on the next video. Lates.